Hello, 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 everyone! Yay! It's Periscope time! Okay, everyone, so hello, yay! We've got lots of hearts, and today is day one. Oh God, I'm so clappy. This is what happens when you drink. Yay! Oh, I'm so excited everyone here. Don't drink as much coffee as I do. Or do. Yay! Good morning, everyone. Good morning. So, okay, we are here for We're here for our 5-day Periscope challenge. Woohoo! So, what's the purpose of this challenge this week? Okay, so here's the thing. You don't actually need more calls on your calendar. I know. I just did a whole challenge of how to tell you how to get like 100. Hi! Oh, yay! So glad to see everybody. So, yes, I just showed you guys how to put tons of sales calls and discovery calls on your calendar, but here's the thing. You don't actually need more calls. What you need is to know how to close them. And not just how to like close one or two, but like close every time. And also have the confidence of knowing that you'll close. Because there's nothing worse than like seeing your calendar full of calls and being like, yes, I'm going to sign on some clients. I'm getting ready for my photo shoot. I'm launching my program. I'm going to fill it. All these great things are happening. And then you get on the calls and it goes, fizzles all the way. If it's happened to you, you know what's going on. So let's change it. So here's what I do. Over 5 days, I'm going to walk you through my 5-step sales process. I'm going to do it a little bit more in depth and a little more unique than I've done before. Day 1, we're going to do leading. Day 2, we're going to talk about listening. And this is where you figure out what's going on with your clients or your prospects. What's their urgency? And knowing that, you can help them buy. We're going to talk about learning everything that they've got going on and what that does to help you connect them with what you offer. We're going to talk about how you language your offers. We're going to talk about how you leverage all this, because here's the thing. I don't want for you to feel like a great big boost of I'm going to close some sales and then suddenly you don't know what to do the next time. Or you have a great experience and it works really well and then suddenly it's not working. We want you to have just constant confidence. When I say becoming epic at sales, that's what we're going to do over the next 5 days. We're going to teach you. We're going to bring you through. We is me. You're going to become epic at sales. So I should take 2 seconds and say, hi. If you've never met me before, if this is our first interaction, I'm Laura Wright. My claim to fame. I don't think I have one, but I'm a super peppy person, as you can tell. I am all about everything sales. I talk fast, so don't worry. I'll loop back through and tell you guys everything more than once. But what I want for you to know is the last 18 years I've spent mastering how to have a selling conversation that feels good and gives you a crazy high close rate. Because here's the thing. You can feel sleazy, slimy, and sell and force and make lots of money like that. Don't like that. You can feel really great on a sales call. You can feel super connected and then hear, I need to think about it maybe later. What I want is for these things to come together in a way that has you feel great and get crazy high close rates. No need to feel yucky while you're selling. No need to dread it. It can be so much fun. I laugh constantly on my sales calls. In fact, if you've ever done one with me, this is how we show up. So let's dive in. Leading your sales calls. So what do I mean by this? So what I mean is when you are the one in charge, when you help someone guide through a path, you can guide them to saying yes to working with you. And I really want to tune into something here. The yes that somebody is giving is not the, yes, Laura, I want to buy you. What they're actually saying yes to is yes to the transformation that you deliver so that they can get their lives to another step, which is why it's vital that you actually lead them down the process of knowing what's not working for them, knowing what they want, and giving them a way to solve it. The way is hopefully through working with you, but the key decision point, what they're actually saying yes to, is they are saying yes to transforming. So think about it like this. Do you like to go do things with people who don't know what they're doing? No. I mean, just imagine thinking like you're going to go whitewater rafting with somebody, and they pull up to the whitewater raft canoe thing. Okay, you know I don't know anything about whitewater rafting. The raft. Everyone comes up to the raft. So you should not get on a whitewater raft with me. I'm that person. So let's just imagine it's me. You come up to me. We're going to the whitewater raft. I'm like, hey, everybody, let's get in that canoe thing. Who wants to get the oars? Does anyone want to put on like one of those, coat things that keeps you from drowning? Great, let's hop in there. We're going to go down that big, fast river and let's see what happens. And you get in the boat and you go down the river and everyone has problems. That's what is usually happening on most sales conversations. Everybody kind of shows up and somebody hopes that somebody's going to step up and know what's going on. So we're going to flip that script for you. We're going to show you how to lead. All right, so the very first thing you can do when you lead, because let me explain, I just told you the whitewater raft, the disaster story. What happens when you do lead? So when you start from a place of leading, and I want you to be really clear about this, this is not to dominate anyone. This is not to be in charge and subject them. This is about you rising up to a high level and they'll come up with you. So when you lead, you never have to prove yourself. You can actually set the tone of how the call is going to go. So I tend to laugh a lot on my calls. I have one client who she does really deep connected sales conversations. And so she creates a sacred container. And it's a really phenomenal experience for someone to walk through the sales conversation because they're in that sacred container. You can decide how it works for you. The key concept is you choosing to be the leader. When you choose to lead, you can guide the person to where they want to go. Now, this is no guarantee that they're going to say yes, but I can guarantee you they won't say yes if you're not in a place of actually leading them to understand what they're doing. So here's a few things you can do energetically before you get on a call. Sorry, making everything bounce around. Scooch it out. There we go. Okay. Yay. Okay. So how to get started leading. So the first thing I do is prior to any sales conversation, I center myself. And depending how you are with your energy, some people are really bubbly and excited and they need to ground down and get centered. Some people can get really nervous and uncomfortable and a little bit like, up in here, not in your body before you start to talk on a sales call. So you may want to boost yourself up. So 2 techniques, I've taught them before, so they're awesome if you've heard them before. To ground in, put your feet flat on the floor. Feel that connection to the ground. I do 3 deep breaths, and I can, even if I'm standing on like the 2nd floor of our house, I can feel like the ground deep beneath me. I take a few deep breaths, and I start from that place. Ooh, love the hearts, yay! Now, if you are feeling uncomfortable, feeling scattered, you need to grab your power. Like not just grounding, but you really want to step into that higher place. We talked about calling the Beyonce effect when you catch your alter ego. So a very quick and easy way to do that is to get into a superhero pose. And I'm not sitting up all the way so you can't see it, but shoulders back, chest out, chin up, look out at the sky. Sometimes what I'll do is I'll close my eyes and I'll literally look out into the window to feel the sun coming on my face. I envision this beautiful cape flowing behind me. I'm at like Laura Best. And when I start a call from that place, I am my highest self, I am my leader self, and I can guide someone on the call. So if you're just joining us, we're talking about how to lead a conversation. And this is how you can turn a free call, a discovery call, any selling conversation into a place where it feels good and it turns into yes. So how do you practically do it once you get on the call with somebody? So one of the things I'll do is I'm the first to speak. I call my clients 9 times out of 10. If I'm doing a sales conversation, I initiate the call. By virtue of me calling them, I'm the one that's reaching out. I am in the doing position. I know there's lots of different ideas on like, you have to have the person call and show up. It lets you know if they're available or if they're wanting to buy. Don't worry about that. Try this technique. If it feels good, go with it. If it doesn't, try something different. But I call my clients. When I call them or my prospects, I'm in charge. I say hello. I welcome them to the call. I do all of my connection. I make it so it's like a reconnection call where I bring back how we got together. Oh, we connected on Facebook. It was so awesome to talk with you and hear about your kids. Oh, yay, hearts. I love hearts, by the way, if you guys want to keep hearting me. I'll send it right back out. I'll give you little hearts. Okay, so when I get on that call, sometimes what I'll also do is set the intentions for our time together. Because some calls are different types of calls. So this is another way you step into the one leading. You describe what's going to happen on the call today. 2 ways to do it. Way number 1, you can literally say, hey, we're here together to talk all about you and your business. This is a 15-minute free discovery session. This is a get-to-know conversation. This is a whatever it is. You can also set intentions. As I mentioned, one of my clients who does very spiritually connected types of sales calls, we crafted a way for her to set a sacred container, to ground people in together, to invite what they're going to talk about. And she'll set intentions and ask, this is my intention for our time together today. What's your intention? And this is a great thing because when you ask somebody what their intention is, they're going to start to tell you what they want to receive. The most important part is you step up into that lead role. You are leading the conversation. So I'll tell you what kind of happens that doesn't work well. Have you ever gotten on the sales call or any kind of call and you guys just start talking and talking and talking and suddenly you're like, how do I bring this, like it's like grasping, how do I bring this back into a selling conversation? When you start the call and set the tone that you're in charge and not over them, just to help them go through this process, they're going to just lean in and go with you on it. They want to be led because they're there with you to find a new way to be in business or a new thing in their life. If you guide them, then you step up into that role and you're going to help them be in that place of seeing how they can say yes for themselves. Good stuff. Okay, so what do you do if things go off track? Because it's great. It's in theory. Like, let's lead calls. Yeah, Laura, I'll do that. Okay, so one really important thing. One. My son's been doing little math things. He's like, Mommy, 1 and 1 is 11. And I believe in that. I think you do too if you're here. But 1. So one thing you can do is as you start, set the intentions for the call. You can either say it to request them to say it back to you, but you lead, you step up, you tell them what we're going to do here together, how we're going to go. Second thing is have a path you're going to follow. If you're hosting a free call, I did Periscope, I can reiterate this. You want to know that you're actually not just going to host a call and hope there's a place for them to say, I need to work with you. You're going to actually have a path. So the 5 steps to walk them through are to connect, to listen and learn, find out what's not working for them so you can solve it. You can vision with them, find out what they really want to make sure you can match that. Give them the invitation, ask if they want to learn what you do and how you do it, and then close the sale. So if you know you're going to go through these 5 steps, regardless of what call you have, you can lead the process. It's why you can spend 15 minutes in just the connection phase. You can spend 10 minutes describing your packages because you know you're going to go through those processes. You will lead the call. So what do you do when the call goes off track? Well, so I'll tell you where it will go off track. Oftentimes we get into this like tangent place of it's fun to connect for those of us that's fun for those of us who are uncomfortable, you start to skip or want to jump. So just take a deep breath, relax in, and go back to that place of leading. So one thing I see a lot is that you get on a call and the other person wants to start asking you questions. So Laura, what are your packages? What are your rates? What do you do? They just start going into that. Or the other way around that drives me batty is when I get on a call where I want to learn about somebody and they just pontificate. It is all me. Here's what I got to do. Here's what I got to do. That's not very client attractive and doesn't set up a selling connection. It's not about you. It's about your prospect. So how do you shift that? So number 1, when you get on the call and you step into that lead role and you set the intentions for the call, you describe what you're going to do. The first thing you want to do is assert that you are leading and ask the questions. So anytime something shifts and you're not sure what to do, ask a question. You as the question asker become the lead. So you can say, this might be a funny place to start, but we could talk for hours on what's great in the world, and I'd love to, but why don't you tell me a little bit more about what you're challenged by? And whatever your business is, whatever your specific business is, you can ask that specific question. So I might say to a prospect, can you share with me a little bit about what's going on for you with sales? What's happening in your sales conversations that aren't going the way you want them to? And I'll start to ask that question. So here's another way to ask more questions so that you can, what happens if it's like, I don't know what to do, I need some more. So you can always say, can you share more? If they don't say yes on the call, do you follow up by email afterwards? Good question. Ask me more because I don't know what you mean. If they don't say yes to buying, do you follow up? Oh, yes, you do. I actually have a whole follow-up system that I'll walk each and every one of you through. So what this means is if you are walking somebody to the place and you lead them down the path, oh good, yeah, all for buying. So yes, if we get to the place where I ask if somebody wants to buy, if I've led them down the path, I've initiated that I'm the one leading the call, I ask them what's not working. I guide them to see their vision. I ask questions. Side note, if you want to have more questions to ask, if you're not sure, I'll say things like, can you tell me a little bit more about what that means for you? So this is a great little question because sometimes I don't fully understand what a person's saying, or I know what it means. Like I know what some struggles look like, but maybe that's not what it means for them. So if somebody gives you like a one-word answer, like, well, what do you want? Well, I want my business to work. Great. We all want our businesses to work. Can you tell me a little bit more? Oh, sorry, I keep knocking into this. I'm going to scooch my desk away a little more. Can you tell me a little bit more about what that would look like for you? And you can help draw things out from them. So when I get to that place, and then I go to the place of asking them, would you like to explore how we could work together? This is a yes or no place. So if I ask, would you like to learn how I work with my clients? Would you like to explore how we could work together? If someone says no at this point, I say, okay, great. Enjoy your day. Have a wonderful one. I'll send you off into your day. And please keep in touch. Let's stay in touch on Facebook. Gone. Because if someone doesn't want to hear how we can work together, they're probably not an ideal client. If someone says, yes, I'd love to hear, which I have to share happens like 99% of the time, at that place, then I begin to describe my packages. We're going to spend a whole day on that. I think it's going to be day number 3. Yeah, day number 3. I'm going to talk with you all about how to language your offer so that people say yes. But again, we're leading the path. We're starting with connecting. We're going to listen and learn, find out what's not working. We're going to give them a little way to check into their vision, decide what they want. We're going to invite them to work with us to see what we're going to offer. And then we go to the space of close. So if I give my invitation and somebody says, yes, but, and that's the one you're going to hear all the time. You either hear, yes, I'm ready to go, and here's my credit card. You're going to hear, I need to think about it. I really would love to, but I need to think about it. Yes, but. Yes, I'd love to, but I don't have the money. Yes, I'd love to, but I need to talk with my spouse. Yes, I'd love to, but. When you hear that but, this is when you set up a follow-up call. And I'll teach you my 2-step sales system in a future call. But what that does is that allows you to have a selling container where you give them an exercise, you give them something to do, you schedule that set follow-up call, and you can walk into overcoming any of their objections and resistance. Now, here's a little backtracking side note. As you're leading, here's what happens so frequently for me. When I step into a place of leading, I don't need to prove myself because I'm shown as an expert by leading the conversation. I mean, literally just lead the conversation and you become the expert. Because think how confident you can be when you want to follow someone who you can hear they know what they're doing. So someone can follow when you step in that lead role. And also what happens is I have very few objections on my sales calls. Why? Because I'm going to lead them through the path of actually overcoming some of their objections as we're talking. So when I ask them what's not working for them, I'm listening in and I'm trying to hear how does what I have to offer solve that thing that's not working for them. So when I give my offer, I'm kind of bringing them back into that. So when we get to the objection place, we've already walked through some of that. When I ask them about their vision and what they want for their business, that's another space where I'm starting to lead them down the path of seeing that that vision is possible. Once someone buys into the concept that what they desire is possible, they will say yes to working with you. That's leading a call. So if you've ever had a sales conversation, can you give an example of that? An example of where things, give me a little more to your question. I'm happy to give examples. I love examples. But give an example of where it doesn't work or where it does work. Tracy, if you can type again, just ask me that question again, just a little bit more in depth. So that's the thing. So, okay, if you're on a sales call and someone asks you something you don't know, ask them to tell you more about it. With more information, you can give folks what they want. So while I'm waiting for a little typed in question, anybody else who has more, I want to walk you through that because we're here for 5 days. We're going to talk about leading a conversation. That's where everything starts from. If somebody goes down a path, oh, I got a good one. Okay, here's a little golden nugget. So let's say you're going down the path on a sales call and you feel like you're losing the lead in the conversation. Somebody's just talking and talking and talking and you have your agenda because there are points you want to hit to make sure it's a sales call. What do? One thing I do is I say, let me just pause you here. And if you say someone's name like, hey, Sarah, how do you weave your packages in with leading the questions? Good question. Okay, I'll answer that. So you will say the person's name and say, can we pause here? Can we just take a moment and pause? When someone hears their name, they stop for a minute. And when you ask if it's pausing, it's just a really pleasant way to do things. Okay, so how do you lead with your packages? Again, we're going to spend all of day 4 on that one. So I'll give you just a little preview of what we're going to do. The way you can weave in what you do with your offers and what they want is by using specifics. So for instance, if in your, actually I'm going to use myself as an example. So if my coaching packages, one of the things I do is I will show somebody with a 6-week sales course where I walk through in depth how to overcome any objection. So if while I'm asking someone questions, they say, you know what? Every single person who gets on my call says they want to, but they're in tons of debt and they can't say yes. When I get to the place of describing my offers, one of the things I'll say is, when we work together, my 6-week sales course, we spend an entire module on how to overcome objections. Like, what do you do when everyone who shows up on your calls is in massive debt and can't pay for your program? I'm going to help you walk through that. So what you can see is I just used the general thing of teaching people how to overcome objections, and I pulled out their specific. I'm specifically getting people who come to me with massive debt and can't buy, and I slide that in to what my offer is and what my package is going to do for somebody. Good stuff. So, yay! Okay, we're almost coming up to the end because I want to make sure everybody's got times. I want these to be like really good nuggets. So the next time you're on a sales call, I want you to put yourself in that energy of leader. As a leader, people will follow. And again, what we want to be really clear on is this is with integrity. This is by being honest. This isn't forcing someone into a sell. This is allowing someone to be guided to be able to say yes to themselves, to their business, to their life, to transforming whatever they want through the vehicle of working with you. So be the leader, ground yourself, center yourself. When you get on a call, know the path you're going to follow. If you're following what I'm doing, you're following a 5-step sales system. Super simple. You're going to connect with somebody. You're going to listen and learn to find out what's not working for them. You're going to talk all about their vision. You're going to give them an invitation to work together, and then you're going to close the sale. And if for any reason they don't say yes, we'll talk all about a multi-step sales call. Another scope. But you want to guide the person, be the one leading. Another thing that happens a lot is free calls. I find free calls are the ones where the lead goes off track completely. Someone comes to you and they're giving you all this great, I need some help, and you coach and coach and coach and it just spins. So be in the lead. Ask somebody for one specific thing they'd like to work on that one specific thing, and then give them the invitation to learn how you can work together for more. So I hope this was super helpful. I hope you guys had a great time. I'm loving this. We have 5 whole days together. This is day number 1. So make sure you get your booties on to tomorrow. And if you want to get this video, if you want to see all 5 videos, because maybe we can't join each other live, just go sign up. I put the URL in the title here. It's EPIC, E-P-I-C, @sales/becoming-epic. Super simple. No W's even, just epic@sales/becoming-epic. Come ask me questions. Come to my Facebook group. Everybody knows how accessible I am. PM me. I'll PM you back. I'll answer your questions, everything you need. But for now, today, focus on leading. So any call you have between now and tomorrow, no matter who you're talking to, talk with your spouse, talk with your friends, talk with your kids, walk through leading. Ground yourself into knowing you're the expert. Lead from a place of strength. It's not to dominate. It's not to be better or more than anyone else. It's just to be the expert. People get to relax. When they come to you with something they need solutions to, there's something freeing for them to be able to relax and let you guide them, because that's what it is. It's guiding them to a yes. So hope this has been helpful. Go have wonderful days. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Come over and see more, and I hope you have a great one. Oh, we're going to get bloopers. Oh, goodness.